you guys. Okay, so the Friday update video I was going to do this week, I'll postpone it for next week. And in the meantime, it's time for another Harry Potter video. Because it's been quite some time since I've done a Harry Potter video, so I might as well do it now. Now, as you can tell by the title, this is my top 5 Harry Potter villains. I would have done a top 10, but I couldn't come up with a top 10 list. And plus, time is of the essence. Me and Maya have a therapy session sometime today, so I want to get this over and done with before that happens. And a little disclaimer before I get started. I am not going to include Draco Malfoy or Snape, simply because at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2, they redeem themselves. And sure, Malfoy, he is a spoiled, rotten, rich kid, but that's just his character. You find out that he's not really a bad guy. He's a douchebag, but not a bad guy. Well, without further ado, let's get right into the video. At number 5, it's Madame Umbrage. All you need to know about her is watch Order of the Phoenix. That movie will show you her personality. She is so obsessed with pleasing Cornelius Fudge that even though Harry keeps saying Voldemort is back, Voldemort is back, she will not accept the fact that he's telling the truth. And even though she is technically on the side of good, she has every qualifications to be a villain. She goes against the main protagonist and antagonizes him on a regular basis and won't listen to reason. I freaking hate Umbrage. And that's why she's at number 5. And number 4 is Peter Pettigrew, or aka Wormtail. Now, he is a very loyal servant and very loyal follower of Voldemort. And he was originally friends with Sirius, James, and Professor Lupin. But then he betrayed James and Lily by giving up their location to Voldemort upon learning that Voldemort was to be defeated by someone, well, by a boy born on the end of July. And overall, Wormtail, he's actually somewhat of an enjoyable character because, I mean, it's one hell of a plot twist. All that time, he was Scabbers, up until it was revealed that he's really a human, technically an animagus. And that really took me off guard as a kid. And he's just overall, he's kind of like the lovable screw-up of the Death Eaters. And that's why he's at number 4. And number 3 is Professor Quirrell, however you say it, from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or if you live in the UK, the Philosopher's Stone. And he is the first teacher, well, the first of many Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers that Harry has had. And he's the first good character to turn out to be evil. When I did the top 10, he was at like number 8. Wait, no, not 8, 7. Simply because he didn't fully establish himself as a villain. Although we did kind of get this. Although the reason why he's at number 3 on this list is because Maya pointed this out to me, but if it wasn't for Quirrell, as you may have, if you've seen the Tragedy of Severus Snape video, it's because of him that Snape and James became even. And that's when you first sort of see Snape's good side. And that's why Professor Quirrell is at number 3. At number 2, y'all are probably thinking that this guy was going to be at number 1, but I'm going to put him at number 2. Simply because Voldemort, he is the main antagonist, and I freaking love Ralph Fiennes. He's a great actor, and he played one hell of a villain. And his backstory is sad, but at the same time, you're glad that he's not a problem anymore after Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I love the build-up from all the movies, building up this one character that you don't really see until Goblet of Fire. You briefly see him in Sorcerer's Stone, but that wasn't him fully Voldemort. And overall, he's somewhat of a relatable character that a lot of people wish we could just get revenge on our enemies. Although Voldemort does kind of take it too far, and he lets his taste for vengeance cloud his judgment sometimes. And that's why Voldemort is number 2 on this list. Even though she's my least favorite Harry Potter character, she is my favorite villain. Simply because I personally think that, and I was even talking to Maya and Mrs. Wilson about this the other day, and she's practically in love with Voldemort. She worships Voldemort. She is to Voldemort what Snape was to Dumbledore. She's really that much of a loyal follower. Although, with Voldemort, his actions when it comes to like killing people, they're sort of like understood, and like because he's obsessed with getting revenge. But with Bellatrix, she takes it way too far. I mean, with Voldemort, the least he ever does is torture people. With Bellatrix, the only time she's ever really tortured anyone was Neville's parents. That's mainly because Voldemort told her to not kill them. But unless she's told otherwise, she doesn't threaten to harm you, she threatens to kill you. And plus, I love Helena Bonham Carter. She's one of my favorite actresses, and believe it or not, she looks, well, Mrs. Wilson looks almost exactly like Helena Bonham Carter, except Hispanic and not British. And overall, she's a wonderful villain. Helena Bonham Carter, I might not have liked the character Bellatrix, but your portrayal of her, top notch, and that's why Bellatrix Lestrange is number 1 on this list. Alright, so now that I got that out of the way, I might as well address something, okay? I don't know if I mentioned this in my Friday update video from last week, but as I briefly mentioned at the beginning, Maya is my therapist now, and she's an actual therapist, and last Thursday she was sexually assaulted by a male patient. And she's been very upset about it, and on Tuesday, me and her, well, I checked on her, and she was very upset because something happened with another male patient. Nothing is serious. It was something he said that's very asinine. It's a very asinine thing for him to say, but I won't disclose it in another video, but she was very upset about it, and she kind of snapped at me, and we've worked it all out, and everything's fine, but still. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you all had an awesome week. I'll see you guys next Friday when I do Friday updates, so until then, stay awesome everyone.